Welcome to the Fresh Start podcast with Aaron and Chloe.
Here's some of our favourite moments from the week.
So my husband works in an emergency department in the Hunter region, and the way that he's phrased it is that e-bikes kind of are the new trampoline. So you used to have every kid would come in with a broken arm or some sort of injury because they cracked themselves on a trampoline, right? Well, now it's all the young people are coming in with injuries from e-bikes.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the case of it's not quite a motorbike and it's obviously more powerful than a bike. Bikes people have always had accidents on, but I wonder if because we've been treating it like just a bike with extra power, maybe kids are not as being as responsible and trained in them as they should be.
They're just not thinking about it. But Queensland government is thinking for them. They have proposed, now it's yet to be written in stone, but it's backed by everybody. They have proposed that you have to be at least 16 and hold a learner's license in order to ride an e-bike.
I am on board with the idea of some regulation around it. I think it is one of those things, whenever a new technology comes along, we often don't have the rules in place. And so there's a kind of a time of like everyone doing whatever. And then we start to go, hang on, there's consequences here. I'm a little skeptical about the age.
You think 16's too old?
Yeah, I wonder if there could be an exception. I'm thinking about the fact that an e-bike is a good alternative for people who aren't ready to drive a car. Like even if it dropped down to 14. You think
14's
I'm thinking if you're old enough to get a job, maybe having an e-bike, maybe there's restrictions on that though. Like on your L's, there are limits on speed. You can't have people in the car with you. There's a whole bunch of limitations. What if there were limits to like you can't go on highways and things like that, like places that are going to cause you major danger, but you could use it to say get around your local suburb or, you know, if you do work a suburb over or something.
I don't know. It got to Sunday evening and I was like, I really should have gone to the supermarket at some point this weekend. There's not really anything for the kids to take to school tomorrow morning for lunch. And I then became Mother of the Year. I'm going to call it. I win, guys. I win because I saw the bananas that were darkening, to put it nicely, getting a bit old for use. And I was like, banana bread, here I come. I'm really proud of myself because I'm not a cook. I can't be bothered. It doesn't spark joy in me, okay? So I do the basics and hope for the best. I've actually done banana bread like 3 weeks in a row on Sunday evening.
Nice.
This is when I'm super tired.
I love that this is making you sound like if you took out all the other things you just shared with us and just said, every week I make banana bread for my kids, I'd be like, applaud you, Mother of the Year.
I say it boldly and proudly because it's so opposite to who I am. Yeah. I'm not make me cook from raw organic ingredients. I think those people are the best and they're correct.
You're also doing it because you're not on top of getting other things for the lunchbox.
And I don't want to waste the bananas I bought. And so it does make me think, though. I think that people are baking things for their kids' lunchboxes more regularly than they ever have throughout history. Or maybe I just grew up in a household where a Glad-wrapped biscuit and a white Vegemite sandwich and a piece of fruit, that was literally all we got in our lunchbox. If that was normal or not?
I think that was pretty similar to what my experience was. Not just like bread, like a sandwich, frozen
sandwiches.
Yeah, and often so Mum would do a week's worth of sandwiches at the start of the week and then like make them all and then put them in the freezer bags, freeze them, and then they'd be put in our bags. The idea they would defrost by the time we get to lunchtime. Unfortunately, in the middle of winter, didn't always quite happen. So then you'd be like sticking it in your pocket and running around for a bit to like defrost
Aaron's in the bathroom under the hand dryer.
I didn't even think of that one. That would have been good.
Come on.
Could have had melted toasted cheese sandwiches every lunchtime.
Could have done a side hustle. Could have started charging people for it.
But I see now what we're doing for my daughter when she goes to school, and I'm like, you have it so good.
She doesn't know how good she has it.
We're so like conscious now of like wanting to be like, have we got enough like little bits of fruit in there? Have we got something interesting in there, some bits of chips and biscuit.
We want to know, what was your school lunchbox like versus what kids have these days?
Well, when we were growing up, come coming from a single-parent household, our options were a little bit limited. So we had, I remember, it would either be Vegemite in a bun, or it would be tuna in a bun, or the favourite, and I'm being sarcastic here, was asparagus. Now, I don't know if my mum just had a surplus of it in cans or what it was, but you really knew who was your best friend or your good friends at school, because the breath after having asparagus sandwiches wasn't the best. So you really...
what do you give your kids, though? Are you sticking with that, or are you like, I'm giving them everything I never got?
Yeah. Well, between me and my wife, our kids get pretty good lunches. Like, we used, you know, the thermos containers.
Ooh.
So they get some elaborate lunches with pasta or spaghetti, or sometimes fried rice.
I've got a confession to make. I want to apologise to my mum if she's listening, because for many years I used her house as a storage vessel.
You're one of those.
Yeah, I moved out of home, but I didn't take everything with me because I had a lot of clutter from having lived in the same house for like 20 plus years. And a lot of it I didn't end up going ever back to collect. Like, I'd go back and visit my mum, but she'd often be like, are you going to take any of this stuff? I'm like, oh, no, not today, no room in the car. So
has she thrown it out?
Well, since grandkids came along, all of a sudden my room was no longer my room. She didn't throw it all out, though. She gave me the choice. She's like, here's all the stuff. Take what you need.
She gave you the ultimatum. It's
like
going in the bin, or you're taking it right now.
Well, it was like a time capsule, because I went back, because some of that was clothes, where like I took a bunch of essentials and I was like, I forgot that I had all these clothes. It had been long enough that I was like, I took maybe a couple of shirts, but everything else I was like, oh, I do not want to wear any of these again.
I would be like, none of this is going to fit me at all.
Well, yeah, there was that element as well, especially anything from my 20s where I was both skinnier, and the fashion was to wear tighter clothes at the time. So bigger me, no, definitely not.
We're talking, what have you kept from your childhood, and how long have you had it? I have we moved a lot growing up.
Yeah, okay.
So when you're a frequent mover in childhood and teenagerhood, you
out.
You have to throw everything. So my parents were very much like, there were bags of toys that went, quotation marks, missing in the move from Tasmania to New South Wales.
Right.
And I lost most of my toys and stuff. But there has been two teddies that have gone with me through the ages, and now my daughters were given them.
Oh.
So it's Charles and it's Jessica.
Hi, Charles and Jessica.
Yes, they're big fans of mine, so they'd be listening.
She props them up next to a radio every morning.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, I do. I love them. And they're not going anywhere. I've definitely kept those. They've been around for a while.
Now, my question was, when you first moved out of home, did you initially take the teddies with you, or did they stay at your parents' place for a while, and then when kids came along, you got them?
That's a really good question. I think I definitely took them with me.
Because when I moved out of home, I was in my 20s. So there was a lot of things where I'm like, well, I'm not taking all my... Like, I don't want to throw out a lot of these toys, because they were like classic 80s toys, like, Lego, Voltron, things that, like, one day this will be great for kids. So I'm like, don't throw it out, but I don't want it on my place.
Oh, you...
I know. But here was the big thing was a lot of things, and Mum wanted to hold on to stuff too. And I think the idea was hold on to things for grandkids. But then I realised, I'm like, oh, it's all right, Mum, it's not mine anymore. And then the moment I saw my nieces and nephews starting to play with them, all of a sudden I was like, hang on.
It's my Voltron.
That's my Voltron.
Hands off my Voltron.
You better be careful with that. You can play with it, but you better be careful.
Okay, what have you kept, or what has somebody kept for you from your childhood, Sky?
Look, not me personally, but my in-laws, they've kept, like, everything. Like, my kids play with my husband and my brother-in-law's Captain Planet toys, Transformer toys, like all of the good Lego. Like, they've got all these good toys, and they're playing with it, and they're just, like, making up names, and I'm like, no, it's not that.
That's not the name.
That's Kwame.
That's Linka. What are you
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. Do you feel like you've got such a picture of your husband's childhood because you have access to all of this?
Yeah, it's like so special because when I was in high school, we lost our house to a house fire and we lost everything. So I have like all the things that I have are from when I was older after that. And a couple of things that I do have are like so special to me. And I'm like, I would love to have my own stuff to give my kids to be like, hey, this was mine when I was a kid, but I just can't do that because, you know.
Yeah.
So
You don't have it to give, but you've been blessed with this other side of the family, which has so much. It's
that.
lovely.
Thanks for sharing with us this morning, Sky. Well, that's our show. Thanks for joining us this week.
You can check out more of the fun on socials. Look for 99.7 on Facebook or Reema Newcastle on Instagram. Check out more of Reema's podcasts at reemafm.com.au.